Hello, all my sleepy bears. My name's Chronically Blue, and welcome to something that completely went under the radar for me. How do I even explain it? So what happened was I was going through my videos, and I just noticed that this video specifically, the final episode of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, was trending. And like it was like lots of more views than I normally get. It was like 1,000 views because I normally get like maybe 20. The first episode got 100, so a really big turnout there. However, I was very confused. I'm like, I wonder why this video is getting so many views. And I just didn't think anything of it. I thought, well, maybe the commentary was good. And one night I was like, oh no, I completely forgot to add the audio, or I was just like watching some of my videos that hadn't posted yet, and I'm like, huh, this one has like a weird little hiss on it. Oh, I guess I'll check out some other videos. And I was like, you know what, why don't I check out the most viewed Sonic 3 and Knuckles video to see why it has so many views. I then found out that it was raw. And when I say raw, I mean there was no intro, no outro, no commentary, it was just straight up gameplay. And that put me into a major depression. I'm like, wow, people really enjoy when I don't talk, huh? So I had a depressive episode, and I'm like, you know what? I need to fix this. I need to add the commentary to it, so that way it's all good. Of course, this video was quite a few years, not even a few years. It was quite a few months ago, and so I don't have the original commentary file for it, let alone the original video project or anything like that. So I was like, you know what, let's just download it, put commentary over it so it'll be all good to go and it looks just like new-ish. So that's exactly what we're doing here. And so, if the mic quality sounds better from the last episode that you saw, that'll be why. If you're looking at the description and you're like, why is this one have like such a long upload date from the original? That is why. At this point, I have deleted the original video, and this is the video. But again, it just completely slipped under the radar, and what I've done is I've gone ahead and just grouped all my files very specifically now, so my raw footage goes right into my raw folder. The gameplay footage of stuff being edited goes right into the gameplay folder, and the completed videos goes into the completed videos folder, because that makes way more sense. So yes, it's been very unique discovering that my most viewed video was the one that without commentary. And my boyfriend brought up, well, you know why it was your most viewed video, right? I'm like, no, why was it my most viewed video? And he's like, that's because people were stealing it. People were just using it as their own and using it for whatever they wanted. And I'm like, yeah, that does kind of make sense. But I don't know, it still doesn't feel great. Like, no one's gonna be like, oh man, I'm so glad the video where I don't talk has the most views. That makes me feel amazing. Like, no, it's not gonna make you feel great. But, so I got off work, and luckily the day went by. However, we have another hurricane coming towards us in Florida, so that's awesome. Love that. It's supposed to hit us as of Wednesday night, and I'm just hoping we get off work. That's my big thing. As well as, I know this is, I'm just merging 13 different playlists and Let's Plays into one. But this Saturday, what if the hurricane doesn't destroy us all? I'm pretty sure it won't. My boyfriend is going to take me to a little retro game store, and I'm going to turn in my PS3 and my PS3 games in order to get a PS2 and get some PS2 games, because it is very difficult to record off the PS3. And so the reason why it's so difficult is because the PS3 was specifically made with HD cap, specifically. So anytime it was like, oh wait, we're in a capture card, we can't show data. That's illegal. People would use this in order to like pirate movies and such. So there's no way in order to get around the PS3's HD capture. The only way to do it is to get a HDMI splitter, not a switcher, a splitter specifically. And I'm just like, yeah, When's the last time I played the PSP? Like, I can't even recall the last time I played the PSP. And I'm just so heavily focused on my physical collection because of how much digital stuff is being like removed and yanked away and changed and upgraded and all this other stuff. So I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and take this into the retro game store that I know and trust and love and get a PS2 and PS1 memory card, get a controller, and get some PS2 games. Maybe I'll get lucky and they'll even have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. That'd be super cool. I don't know if they're gonna have, but it'd be super cool. I already have some PS1 games. I have 0 PS2 games. I did get a PS2 from an estate sale, and it was like dirt cheap, and it came with a few games. And all the games that I cared about, I already went ahead and beat, so I'm not like missing anything major. I also went ahead and took that PS2 and gave it to my dad because he has a bunch of expensive PS2 games. Not because he's a collector, but just because those were the games that he really liked. And he just had no way to play them because he didn't have a PS2. And so I was like, here you go, have my PS2. And he's like, cool, thanks, now I can play these games. I'm like, yep. You're not going to, are you? Of course not. I'm like, of course not. That makes way too much sense. Yeah, it was so much fun, and so I do want to preface this by stating that I am 22. If you're in a depressive episode, do not use substances such as alcohol or nicotine, because if you do, it will majorly amplify it. Like, I had 1 and it felt like 6. I just felt so horrible and just in the worst way possible. Just so many dark thoughts. And I'm just like, you know what? How about I don't do this? And so I was like, you know what? That's a good idea. How about I stop this? So I just try to calm myself down, listen to some music, and just put on a Sonic movie and try to not focus on everything. And it definitely helped. It definitely got me through it. So I very much like that. It took a little bit, but I went to sleep and then woke up and felt better. So I'm very glad for that at the very least. I am... Oh, Sonic, why'd you do that? Man, it is like dead silent. Yes, we got through Act 2. I hope this is where the previous episode left off of. I'm hoping so. I didn't watch Hidden Palace Zone. Don't worry, it doesn't last long. It was like maybe 5 seconds. But yes, I'm also going, as of right now, you may notice that I just recently completed Bastion. I am currently playing Conker Live and Reloaded, aka Conker's Bad Fur Day, as well as, once this episode comes out, you will see that I am getting ready to play the SpongeBob SquarePants movie game 100%. As for Sonic itself, I know that his new game literally comes out tomorrow. I did not get paid by the Magical Money Fairy, sadly. However, I'm just gonna wait for it to drop in price unless it becomes part of the Target special where it's buy 2 get 1 free for video games. If it does, awesome. If it doesn't, I'll just wait for it to drop. I already have enough scheduled. I don't need a Sonic game taking up that space. Although, as well as I do want to say that this is the last time that you are going to see this specific background. If you check out any of the other games that I'm doing currently, except for Conker Live and Loaded, I'm now making custom 4x3 backgrounds specifically, so it has flavor and it doesn't take away, but it still, like, you know, lets you to see the picture a little bit better, but it still has a little bit of pizzazz. I'm very much looking forward to whatever game I finish next. I'm going to be playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater on the N64. I've honestly just been getting really into my N64 kick, and I don't know why, it's just so much fun to play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater on the N64. And I guess it's because there's not like 30 different challenges, and it's a lot easier to find everything. Just because it's not like, oh yeah, find these 5 postcards, find these 5 money signs, find these 5 hangnails. And don't forget about the pro score, the super score, and the super score. And then don't forget to use 15 special moves before the time runs out in 2 minutes. And I'm just like, okay, you're kind of putting a lot on there. Just saying, I want to take it down a notch. Oh no, Eggman was actually using the Chaos Emerald for evil all along. Shock. And thanks to Doctor that my boyfriend watches, he informed us that if you get shocked by a taser or electricity, your bones do not become visible. So, that's a good thing. As well as, I'm also excited to say that I'm getting my Captain Planet Blu-ray collection very soon. I'm very excited for that. Just because Captain Planet is one of those things that you really would think that it would be on streaming services, or at least free to watch. It is not. It is on nothing. Absolutely nada. So there's no official box set. The only way to do it is to spend $80 to get like each individual season. And I'm just like, no thanks. That seems like quite a bit. And so I was able to find this dude that does official re-releases of such, and I'm just like, heck yeah. The closest thing I found was someone selling a USB flash drive that had all the episodes on it for $50. I'm like, that's a little too sketch. Like, at that point, I have a torrent of questions. I have quite a few questions that I have down in my files, and it makes me question the legality of it. Like, at that point, I'm just saying. We're getting really close there, so... Like, with DVDs, you can at least blur your eyes and be like, yeah, I kinda get that. Especially if it has, like, official cover art and it comes in a very nice, complete collection. At least you can be like, what? What do you mean this isn't the real thing? But if you're watching stuff on a USB flash drive, like, come on. You can't play dumb there. Like, everyone knows. Everyone knows. Just saying. As well as I did watch quite a few things, such as the 4Kids censored. First off, 4Kids censoring. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. Some of it is pointless, but some of it makes sense. Like, the best way to put it is they recolored some of the Dragon Ball characters, which, you know, it kind of makes sense. Just because one of them was, like, very, very dark-skinned and had, like, really big lips, and I'm just like, okay, well, I can definitely see how that wouldn't be the best. So changing the character to blue, that kind of makes it better-ish. Not really, but we're gonna say it does, because why not? For One Piece, there was a character that would be smoking all the time, and they changed it to lollipops. And I'm just like, okay, you know what? That does kind of make sense. That's kind of clever. They changed the names of all the princesses in Sailor Moon, and I'm just like, okay, that makes less sense. However, there's some parts as well where it does make sense, where like they covered up more characters, or this, that, or the other, and it does make sense. But there's definitely some parts where you're just like, what? Like, one of the big things from Sailor Moon is that there were two Sailor Scouts that were quote-unquote cousins in the 4Kids version. However, they're actually in a relationship in the regular version. And that part I'm like, like, it really depends on like what side you are on. Me, I'm just like, you know what, at that time, because this was like in the 90s or like early 2000s, it kind of makes sense. It really does. However, then there's parts where they edit out like full-on blood and such, and like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. There was a whole fat-shaming episode, Sailor Moon, where she was trying to become super fit, and I'm just like, yeah, if this was on the air, people would have had a conniption fit. Would have not been thrilled. Also, I do apologize for the compression of the video quality. That's what happens when you upload it to YouTube, download it, and then re-upload it to YouTube. So I do apologize for that. Not much I can do. This was literally it. I did not have the raw footage. This was just the stuff that I had on YouTube, so I was able to... At least I'm trying, okay? That's the best I can say. Because I'd rather upload a video like 3, 4, 5 months late with the commentary instead of just act like it's perfect. Because it's not. That's not cool. And even if I decide to re-watch my Let's Play like a year down the line, and I'm like, yeah, we got commentary, intro, outro, commentary, intro, outro, raw gameplay. I'm like, that sticks out to me. It really does. It sticks out like a sore thumb, and it makes it very difficult to act like everything's fine. Now, one thing that I would like to do is I would like to go through and do Sonic 3 and Knuckles either on the Genesis or on one of the major collections where they don't edit the music. Just because that would be nice. There is a ROM hack called Sonic 3 Complete where they add little cutscenes and such, and that is a lot nicer. However, I don't have access to that, or at least not yet. I don't know, maybe I'm sure it's probably on Etsy or somewhere. I almost said a completely random website. I'm sure they have Sonic 3 Complete on WillyWonka.com. Surely. Alright. So here we are in Death Egg Zone. This is the most annoying level. Well, it's not the most annoying, but it is very difficult. It definitely makes you feel like, wow, going hardcore here, aren't we? But, you know, it's all fine. I do want to talk a little bit about just some of the drama that's going on. Not with me specifically. I don't have any drama, and I hope it stays that way. But if it doesn't stay that way, I'll be one of the first people to be like, hey, funny thing. But no, some of the drama that's going on is that there is a famous social media platform that recently got bought, and there's new information and rules put into place, and it's unique. It's definitely making me think about what I'm doing, and so I don't know. I went ahead and made a second account on a random website just because people are like, oh yeah, do this. So I'm like, it can't hurt. So, you know, if you ever want to talk to me, first off, comments. I love to respond to my comments, especially if it's an actual question. If you ask me a question, I'll be more than happy to answer you. If you don't ask me an actual question and you're just like, wow, purple, I'm just gonna be like, okay, well, they're having fun, so I'm gonna let them have their time. But no, absolutely, ask me questions. If you ever want to like ask me a question in private, then I think there's the whisper option now on YouTube as well. I'm not too sure. There's lots of stuff that keeps coming and going and changing and whatever. Yeah, it's completely up to you. I'd be more than happy to answer questions. I'd be more than happy to do anything within reason. And I even get notifications if you comment on old videos, so you know, it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to go to the newest video to get my answer on something. And if it is something that is political or unique or something that I feel is a little too complicated to explain, then I'll just be like, hey, that's a good question. I might answer in the future, just not right now. Because there's so much going on. There really is. There's a lot. And I was playing the SpongeBob SquarePants movie game, and they use a certain derogatory term, and I was like, oh, well, this is only a 2-time instance. They say it once verbally, and the second time it is just, like, as the loading screen, the name of the stage. I'll just edit this out, it's no biggie. Then, I was playing a level in the game, and one of the characters uses the derogatory term, and I'm just like, okay. That's juicy. We're gonna have to turn down the character voices for that level. But it's unique, and it makes me a little concerned for the older games that I'm going to go through and play, because I'm definitely looking forward to playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater just because it's a really fun game, and you know, it's gonna be my first N64 game, so I'm very excited just for that alone. And the only other thing is that I'm looking forward to doing Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights on the Xbox, which I'm also looking forward to. It's one of those games that I've played a lot and never beaten, so it'd be very nice in order to 100% I get all the monster medallions and get everything, so I'm very much looking forward to that. But when you are a child and you are playing through stuff, or you're watching movies or anything like that, you don't notice stuff. You're really focused on the main picture, and you're not looking at the little details or sidelines. When you get older, that is when you start to notice the little side stuff. And sorry, that bouncing really got me there. Thankfully, they did release an update in order to stop that. However, again, this footage was from a while ago. It's from when it was first released, so, you know, what am I gonna do? But and you really don't notice everything that could happen. Specifically, like, we were watching Pluto TV, the Nickelodeon Pluto TV channel, and it was showing 2004 Fairly Odd Parents, and they used the same derogatory term, and I'm just like, oh, that's not okay. But I don't know, it's really hard. Like, you gotta remember that in the past, things meant different things and they weren't taken seriously, and now we are taking it seriously, and I'm just like, I'm so glad I didn't do or say anything bad, delete, 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 delete. But it gets to a certain extent where it really depends, it really does. If someone makes a very unique, offensive statement today, yeah, obviously they should be called out on it. But if they make an offensive statement 15 years ago, I think maybe that they should, you know, point it out a little bit, but don't ruin their entire life for it. That's just a little extreme for me. And again, I used to watch Smosh. And so I completely understand how things were, like, funny back then, but looking back now, you're just like, yeah, that's not good. And it's just so hard in order to be able to, like, discuss it, because that's the main reason as to why I'm doing a channel where I don't curse at all. I did make some dark jokes, but that's because dark jokes are always funny. But I'm trying hard in order to not curse and just, like, super limit my stuff, so that way 3 years down the line I can look back and see if people were like, oh yeah, I watched your channel, and I'd be like, oh, that's nice. Because I used to get in trouble for watching YouTube very easily when I had unrestricted internet access by the time I was 12 and 13, so, you know, attacking Toucans and a bunch of other stuff. Josh Jepson, just a lot of adults playing games unfiltered. It was not great for a very young teenager to be looking at. So, very much dirtified the search histories. So that's definitely not great. But anyway, I am very glad that I am at the point where I am, and I've made the decision that I have. I'm just looking forward to stuff to get better. I don't know if it's going to, but I'm hoping so. I mean, out of all the videos that I found, this is the only one that didn't have the commentary on it, so I'm also hoping that this is the only thing like that. You know, here's hoping. But as I said, I've gone ahead and split stuff into separate folders so that way I don't make this mistake again, because would you believe I don't like making this mistake? Would you believe it's not fun for me, especially when I've deleted the audio? But yeah, so what we have to do here is we have to use the upside down machine very well-y timed in order to have it attack the dude, and then if they're upside down, we can spin dash it to knock them right side up as well as making them jump in the air. Just like that, that's how we do it. And there goes Eggman running. And we're in the Death Egg Zone. I'm trying really hard because one of the things that I did unlock is the community tab, which I'm very thankful for. It used to be you unlock it once you got 500 or so subscribers, and now it's just like after you've had a certain amount of time on YouTube, which I very much enjoy because now I get to reach out with all my subscribers a lot more. And I always try to act like I have a big audience. I don't want to make myself come off as, oh, well, I only have so many, because it's not true. Like, numbers don't go from 0 to 1 million immediately. That's not how it works. You start from 0 and slowly build up, and then it keeps growing and growing. And so that's something that I just have to keep reminding myself, because as much as it's very easy for newcomers to be like, well, why aren't I blowing up? I thought I was going to have 1 million subscribers by Thursday. It's like, no, you're not going to have 1 million subscribers by Thursday. You might, in 4 or 5 years. I mean, heck, I know some people that have been on YouTube for 4 or 5 years and they just recently reached 600 subscribers. And it really depends on what you're doing, what field you're in, and like how everything is, because the gameplay can be boring. The video quality could be just okay, but if the commentary is great, that's what's gonna make me stick around. And that very much makes me think of one of the first few Let's Play channels I watched, the Super Gaming Bros, where the videos were like 480p, and the commentary was really good. And then now it's just like, man, this isn't as funny as it used to be. And it really hurt me because I grew up watching them, and then they just happened to be like, hey, we're all doing our own different things now, so we're ending this channel. And I'm just like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. It really does. And it makes a lot of sense for that. But I tried to watch some people's videos recently from small channels, and there was just some big red flags to me. I guess I've just become a bit of a snob recently. That's the best way I could put it. Because I'm just like, man, this video quality isn't good. What is this? I'm like, oh, it's 480. I'm like, okay, well, that's okay. Maybe they're playing it off an original PlayStation, and that's why it doesn't look so good. Hey guys, I'm using an emulator. I'm like, okay, maybe the commentary is good. Whoa, where did that box come from? Like, I don't even understand. I was like, you're hurting me. I know everyone's not like me. Not everyone was like, oh yeah, in 2012, I got inspired to be a Let's Player, so I went and got all the stuff to be a Let's Player. I know that's not how it happens for everyone. I know that I'm completely different. Or, everyone's different. That's the best way I should put it. It's just that I've been doing this for quite a while, so I'm very much used to talking to myself for half an hour on an end, and just keeping things going and talking like someone's there listening to me. However, I also care very much about the quality to an extent. I don't go for 480, I go for at least 720, because first off, my computer is not great enough in order to handle 1080. It can handle 720. And you can't take a 360 picture of a dog and export it to 1440K and expect it to look great. It's not going to look great. So just keeping it exactly at the same step that it is, that's the best way in order to do it. So I'm very much fine with recording and exporting at 720 because that's the base resolution, and that's quite good for me. It's not the standard of 1080, but also I don't have the money to blow on a 1080 recording computer. You know, game consoles, if they're at least 5 or so years old, they're running maybe $300 if that. And with computers, even if they're like 10 years old, they're still at like $800. And it's like, what the heck? This is insane. And so it's really mind-blowing to me that quite a lot of people boast about these expensive gaming pieces that they have. And I'm just like, this is the same, like, it's unique. That's the best way I can put it. But so what we have to do here is we have to actually spam the jump button, or in this case the dash button, in order to have enough speed to catch up to the robot mobile. As well as my hair just flopped in front of my eye and it scared me. I thought it was a spider. I almost screamed, but luckily I didn't. Although this is your friendly reminder to go drink some water. Like, just have some water, do whatever you need to do, have some water, go to the bathroom. We're gonna be here for a little bit. Just so you know. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the future of my stuff, and I'm very much looking forward to it, and I'm really glad that I went back and looked at my most viewed Sonic video, most viewed video in general, as well as checked out some of my upcoming videos that hadn't released yet so I can make the necessary updates to them so that they be 120%. So I do understand that this definitely comes at a surprise. This does come literally out of nowhere, but it's definitely for the best. I very much like it. So I'm sorry that this had to happen, but you know, it's not like I'm going anywhere. I just noticed that there was something wrong. I'm like, oh, let me fix that. That'll definitely help me sleep at night. I'm very much looking forward to all the stuff that is coming up. I don't have any plans specifically, just SpongeBob, Tony Hawk, hopefully Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Fights. Some people wanted me to play Yoshi's Story on the N64. I might do that. It seemed easy enough, but I also have a feeling that just because it seems easy doesn't mean it's going to be easy throughout the entirety of the game. I'll tell you what though, SpongeBob is kicking my booty. It is muy difícil, very difficult, and it's struggling. It really is. It's struggling and annoying, but I'm doing it anyway. So here we got the Master Emerald, and if you are not Supersonic, then Tails will actually catch Sonic, and it's really sweet. But nope, we had to 100% the game, because why wouldn't we? So they did change music for this as well. At least I think. I've never 100% Sonic 3 and Knuckles before. Okay, so we go and drop off the Master Emerald and the... I just forgot words. Wow, that's like the 5th time today. Angel Island starts floating. That's what I meant to say. Sweet goodness. I'm tired. It's only 8:40. I'm tired. Legitimately, like, once I got off work, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go have some water and then record this thing so I can just forget about it and act like nothing ever happened. But yes, here's Knuckles, seeing that we have given back the Master Emerald and now we are all best friends till the ends. Everything's all fixed. So yes, now is my time to give my thoughts on Sonic 3 and Knuckles, as if I just played it. It is a fun game. It is a very long game. That is one thing that I definitely underestimate, is how long Sonic 3 and Knuckles is. There's very unique levels that definitely keeps you going. However, Sandopolis, I don't like it. Death Egg Zone, I don't like it. Flying Battery, Mushroom Hill, Angel Island, those are all good. I very much like those. I wish we had a casino level again, but we don't. I wish we stopped having sand levels, which we won't. But it's very good. I am aware that in this version they changed a lot of the music, and it it's not gonna beat the original. I'm sorry. That's just full honesty. The original music. You can't beat the original music unless you got T. Lopes in here from Sonic Mania to remake the music. And considering that this collection was on such a time constraint, it makes sense why they weren't able to do it. There was a lot of bugs and such that they wanted to iron out and fix, but they got pressured from the publishers. They're just like, do it now, release it now. And they're just like, okay. We were gonna make it look good, but I guess not. It stings. It kind of does to know that people cared more about money instead of quality. But, you know, these things, they happen. It's like how Bayonetta 3's voice actor was like, yeah, they really lowballed me and like, hey, we're gonna give you $25. So I was like, really? That's all you think I'm worth? But in actuality, it was $50. This, that, and the other. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not here for this drama. I'm really not. Like, it's gonna take a lot for me to be offended. It's going to take, like, some serious stuff. Because it's just, oh, they were trying to underpay me. I'm like, yeah, that sucks, but... Is that it? Like, you could have just tried to make a deal, or... I don't know, I don't understand how things work. I just drink water and caffeine and do whatever. I just sleep on my bed. But yes, with that being said, we have fully completed Sonic 3 and Knuckles, as well as the entirety of Sonic Origins. Look at that. It's beautiful. Fully completed. All titles cleared. Congratulations. Yeah, so we have gone ahead and we have fully finished Sonic Origins, this time with all episodes having commentary. So, hooray. But yes, I'm just glad I was able to get this redone. Again, I do apologize for it not having commentary for so long, but no one brought it up to my attention. No one commented and said, hey, there's no commentary here. That definitely would have helped. But I'm not blaming anyone. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And I will see you all for the next game. Whether it be one of my new Let's Plays, one of my old Let's Plays, I will see you all next time. Goodbye, Sleepy Bears. Thank you for watching.